The first person to be held was Neville Thurlbeck, the chief reporter of the News of the World. He was detained on April the 5th. 9 days later came a pair of arrests. Ian Edmondson, a former senior editor on the paper, was one of them. The other was James Weatherup, a senior reporter who'd been news editor under Andy Coulson. More than 2 months then passed before Terenia Taras was detained. She's a freelance journalist who worked for several papers, including the News of the World. The first arrest of a journalist unconnected to the paper took place on the 27th of June. Laura Elston is a Press Association reporter. She'd worked as the agency's royal correspondent. Next up, the most high-profile move by the police until yesterday. Andy Coulson, who was the News of the World editor for 4 years before becoming David Cameron's communications chief. He was questioned on July the 8th. The paper's former royal editor was arrested on the same day. Clive Goodman had already been jailed for using information gained by phone hacking. And there was a third arrest on the day. An unidentified 63-year-old man who Sky sources have learned is a private detective. Then last Thursday came the arrest of Neil Wallace, who'd worked as deputy editor of the News of the World under Andy Coulson. He's since done PR work for the Met Police chief, Sir Paul Stevenson. And finally, yesterday, it was Mrs. Brooks's turn. She, of course, is a former editor of the News of the World and until Friday was chief executive of News International.